Think we at 6:01 on that clock. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's Thursday. You are watching Jazz Cats,
Yes, cats.
WJZZ Cool TV. You can catch us or can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope. But this evening, I decided to kind of go off script a little bit. I have a beautiful friend of mine in the studio with me. Oh, God, we've been friends since I was, 18 or something like that.
Long time.
So that's kind of telling my age, which I don't care. I'm 56, so no shame in my game. I want to introduce my dear, dear friend, Kevin Collins, ballroom dancer extraordinaire. How are you today, my dear?
I am great. It's rainy, but we are
Yes,
gonna
it's
make it.
still a beautiful day, rain
Yep.
and all.
Yep. Better than snow any day. Better than snow any day.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to invite my friend Kevin in the studio, this dude is like so versed in music. It is unbelievable. Oh God, the music he shares with me, posts on his social media. Some stuff I've heard, a lot of it I haven't heard.
Hmm.
So, Kevin, let's talk. Music, dancing.
Let's talk
What
music.
what have you been up to?
Nothing. Still doing the ballroom dance thing in the schools. Um, I'm over at West Village Academy, and I was the other day I was doing and I think people seen it on Facebook. I was doing a little dance off of the music, and we were doing virtual with the kids.
Yes.
And he was playing an incognito record.
Yes.
And this beat came on, and I just started dancing to it. And I seen his eyes come up because it's only me and him in there.
Uh-huh.
The kids are at home. We teaching the
Right.
kids on
Okay.
campus from
Watching.
home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
So it's virtual. And his eyes came up. He was like, "Wow," And I was like, it was just the music. The music just did it. So music is, I mean, come on, it's the story of our lives. It
Yes.
truly is. So that's basically what I do. I try to share that music that I do in my dance classes when we were doing them before
Yes.
coronavirus, of course. And I'll try, and some people latch on to it, and some people don't. Some people don't because they're so used to what they hear on
On
the
the radio,
the R and
yes.
B and this and that. That I think we lost touch with our jazz roots.
Okay.
At least most of the new people.
From
uh,
a dance standpoint, listening standpoint,
from
or all
from
of the
bo-
above.
both, all
Okay.
of the above. I think that when you talk about music, you almost talk about dancing. It's in cahoots with each other.
Yes.
And so when you don't see people dancing to the kind of music that maybe you like, which is mine is more of a jazzier style
Yes.
from the early '70s, probably '60s if I think back far enough.
Okay.
It's been dancing off of jazzier music. So it's a wonder that I dance music. It's kind of a wonder that I'm a little ahead of the game when it comes to, and it sounds like I'm bragging about it. I am.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Well deserved.
Yeah, I think the jazzier music makes you dance better. Now that could
okay.
be just me, saying that because what you like is what you like.
Right.
But if you're not up on certain music,
Right.
then you hear it
Yes.
and you like it. And I think that's what happens in my class. People don't hear that stuff, and then all of a sudden they're hearing us and we're dancing to it.
Right.
You
And,
know.
and you're exposing, especially the younger
Yeah,
generations,
yeah.
because I've seen, some of your videos from you teaching like elementary
Yeah,
school
oh,
kids
absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
dance and,
Yeah.
just listening to the music.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're picking up on it.
Yeah.
And like my little nephew Jace, I try to, he listens to the radio.
Yeah.
But I
Absolutely.
try to expose him to different types of music. Me at home, 99.9% of the time it's going to be, nope, take that back. About 90% is going to be jazz.
Yeah.
Couple of percentages, with house music. I listen to the radio, but it's more background noise.
Well, if you recall, as we were younger, our parents probably listened to more jazz.
They did,
and,
yes.
well, maybe Motown sound a lot too, or the Philly sound. But when it came to jazz, that comes from all over anyway.
Yes.
And so we were open to it and we were listening to it because it was our heritage almost.
Right.
It was planted in our houses.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
The record albums, the
yeah,
33s,
right,
and
right. And
everything.
I remember distinctly my mother listening to the Soulful Strings. and I remember driving in my car a couple of years ago, and I heard it. It came on one of the jazzy stations.
Wow.
And I stopped my car, and I'm like in panic mode. I grabbed the phone, and I, Mama, you know, Mama, listen. And my mom would say, that was our national anthem.
Wow.
You know, there was the Soulful Strings, and I forgot the name of the song, but it was awesome. And I'm teaching people how to dance. The high school students over at Mumford,
My
and
alma
Martin
mater.
Luther King, and all. You know, I did all the schools. But
Right.
I tried to turn them on to different music instead of what they were used to hearing all the time, because they was gonna hear that anyway.
Right, in your
know.
class.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we want to push that jazzier sound out, because you know we lose it. We, you know, to the day we die, we won't be able to hear it no more.
Exactly.
So we have to have a group of people
Yeah.
that we connect with. You know, even if they don't dance, if they want to learn how to dance, of course they can be taught.
Right.
But knowing that we love the sound, the different sounds in the music that make you dance
Yes.
a different way. You know, people ask why I dance like I do, and I'm telling you, it's the music.
It is. I mean, and music tends to take us away. At least I know for me, I can speak for myself. Music takes me away from, just from the daily hustle bustle,
Absolutely.
stress of life. I can turn some music on and just forget about everything.
Yeah.
And, what I like talking to you about, some of the things that we're contemplating on doing, working together.
Absolutely.
To keep it alive. And because I get so sick and tired of hearing jazz is a dying art form and things like that, and I have to dispute it every single time.
Well, if it's dying, if it's dying like they said it's dying because we didn't pass it on. It's
Right.
dying
But
because
no,
somebody didn't
I
pass
think
it down.
it's being passed on with the young lions because there are some dynamic young talented musicians
Yeah.
that I think are carrying it on.
Yeah. Well, they may be talking about as a whole because just like with us, it was dominant in the 60s, 70s, maybe the 50s and 40s, and it's all the way up, and it also changed the dynamic of our dance as you go through the years, the 60s, with the Motown sound. It changed the dynamic of how they dance from the earlier jazz where they did swing dance and Lindy Hop to
Yes.
that, and the music dynamic changed.
Yes.
And so the style of the dance.
And listening to that music, it is
That's
so
right, that's right.
upbeat.
That's right, and they had to dance that way.
Yes.
And so that's what they did to that swing music.
Yes.
And so the dynamics changed, so it evolved. Just like now, it's evolving from the bop to Chicago step. It's an evolving of the dance. From Lindy Hop to swing dance to bop, it was an evolving of the sound of the music that made us dance a certain way.
So what got you involved in dancing? I mean, I know it's a gift, because we go way back.
Yeah.
Everybody, we go way back. And, I remember the days where you would choreograph, the male dance routines and everything. And it's, was there any formal training or is this just a gift?
There was no formal training. It was all dream-like. It was all. I dreamed it up. If I heard music, well, let me just say this. When I was 13, I snuck into the Royal Theater with a little girlfriend. I had a little girlfriend. We holding hands and stuff, walking down Woodward, and we went to the Royal Theater. And I know she didn't know what it was, but we snuck in to see Maynard Ferguson.
Whoa.
Yes.
Are you at 13?
At 13 years old.
Wow.
And we got in to see Maynard. So the tickets were gave to me, and I don't know how we got in at such a young age, but we got in there. Maybe I'm lying. I don't know. But Maynard Ferguson was one of my first favorites. Him and Michael Franks.
Okay.
Even though there was so much more out there, that's when that was my first. Well, the Soulful Strings was probably my first hit.
Okay.
But then here comes Donald Byrd and all them. But when I got into it, when I really started feeling it, it was a friend of mine, Randy Taylor, put me up on Michael Frank's Sleeping Gypsy. Lady Wants to Know.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I love that because he knew that I love music. It was a different type
of music, right, that you were used to.
And the younger guys, the older guys that were younger, but they were older than me, the bigger brothers.
Right. Yeah.
They pushed me that way. Eric, my brother Eric, who God rest his soul, pushed me to Michael Henderson at the concert. Not
Wow.
Michael Henderson wide receiver. No,
Yeah.
he pushed me
Oh, yeah.
at the concert, which is
Yes.
a totally different.
Totally different.
It's
Yes.
more of a jazzier sound.
It is. Yes.
And if you look at it, Norman Connors was jazz.
Yes.
And so Michael Henderson sung up under him. So it was that jazzier sound. So I started dancing around that time, and that was the music I was listening to. Though I danced to R&B,
Right.
the jazz is what really dictated my household, and so that
Okay.
made me dance to that kind of music. And here's the difference. In jazz, there's so many different instruments going off in different ways.
Oh God. Yes.
The music
yes.
is I ain't gonna say helter skelter, but it's going.
Some of it is depending
Yeah.
on the artist.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends on the artist.
Like I like Jan Ackerman. I'll dance
Yes.
the Streetwalker
Yeah.
all
Oh,
day. I used to
love
hear
that.
Yeah, I used to hear it
Love
on
that live
WJZZ.
version. Oh,
Man,
yes.
oh, the live version is out cold.
Yes, I got it on my phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Pat Metheny, Till the End of the World. See, see everybody else dancing to the Girls Next Door. I'm
Right.
dancing on Till the End of the World. And then,
Yeah.
you know, a place, the Diamond Shaft over on Finkel and Myers. That's what they played. They played that kind of music.
That was before my time.
You know? Well, it's still going now. We used to do jazzy, jazzy ballroom classic on Sundays before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
that once a month on a Sunday, we would dance to jazz. You know?
Wow.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
Okay.
This guy is a Mexican guy. I can't think of his name. Mark Antoine.
Oh yeah.
Walking. I mean, it's just this music is just out of sight, you know.
Yes.
And people
yes.
just not up on this stuff, you know, because
No.
there's no other DJs playing it. Maestro playing it, or down at the Diamond Shaft. But that's why we call it Jazzy Ballroom Classic. 'Cause
Right.
nobody else is
Nobody's
playing jazz. We trying to grab that jazzy crowd.
Right,
You
exactly,
ain't got to actually be a
yes.
dancer. Just got to want to hear good music, and you
Right.
can watch the dance. If you want to
Or you can stand.
on.
Right. I was gonna say they
Yeah.
can step up and learn.
Absolutely.
Or you know, do one hell of a chair dance.
Absolutely.
And everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a ballroom dancer.
You
So
could
you know,
be.
so I admire watching you. Know, you're gonna learn me one day. And but it's like I said, this music is so much out here,
Yeah.
and it's overwhelming sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, me
Yeah.
being in the music business now,
Oh, yeah.
getting into it,
Yeah.
going into the studio.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like, why are they just playing the same song like 15 times?
Right. Let me ask you a question. We be out dancing, and you just go out. You're not a dancer. If you were sitting in a place, what jazzy music would you like to hear that we can dance to? Well, which we can dance really the most of it. Talking about the contemporary, that's 1970s on to 2000. What would you really like to hear? If you just I know it's so much.
Wow.
But just give me like one or two right off the head. I've become the radio person now.
Yes, you just flipped the script on me,
flipped the script.
which is cool. See, I love a wide range. I mean, I love Michael Franks, but a lot of his music you can't dance to.
Oh, yes, you can. That's the thing.
To me,
you can.
you
But that's
know.
because you haven't learned how to dance. yet.
Correct.
Learn how to dance. You'll be able to dance to it.
Yeah.
All his music is danceable. But you got to be in the music. You got to be into
Right.
it. And you're into music. All you got to do is learn the steps.
Right, yeah.
And then it'll marinate itself.
It'll come to me.
Yep.
I mean, I
Yep.
used to, and I got away from it. But God, it's just so much. I mean, a lot of the older music. Oh God.
Just give me one record that you really would like to hear from somebody. That you be like, wow, that's what they doing playing that here.
Wow. Ooh. I got to come back to that one. Because, see, there's so many.
I flipped the script on
Yeah,
it.
he sure did.
What?
But no, a lot of, I guess jazz. Sarah Vaughan,
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald, Dinah Washington.
Yeah, that's the older, more contemporary.
Right, but moving, kind of bringing it fast
Well,
forward.
when they got to the almost the disco jazz era, like the Donald Byrds and the Blackbirds, that was that more that disco type of jazz.
Right.
What's the?
Well, even because you mentioned the Roy Ayers tune when you came in the building.
I'm on the Roy
Yes.
Ayers video.
Yeah.
Everybody's grooving. It was a newer cut. you know.
Right, yeah.
But he did it some basement down in Detroit, downtown Detroit. He's sitting there, and the guys invited us to dance on the video. Great video. Everybody's grooving. Go look at it.
Everybody's grooving.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Everybody, you are watching WJZZ Cool TV. And I've got my dear, dear friend Kevin Collins in the studio. You can catch us streaming live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to call into the studio, hit me up at 313-355-6018. So, back to Kevin and music. And see, you got me stumped with that question.
Just one record. I could tell you a dozen right off the head.
Well, see, it's so much, though.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. And you know, records to dance to, like you thought we couldn't dance to Michael Frank. Man, that's all we do. That's all we do is dance to Michael Franks. But I can catch even the deeper records that, you know, most people dance off of Mr. Smooth or something like that. No, I'm dancing off of Lady Wants to Know, Meet Me in the Deer Park. You know, people like, what is he doing? You know, because they don't know how to catch them rhythms. I do. I hear them. You know, and I danced off of Donna Bird's Lasagna Apprentice, and I'm telling you, I was at the Diamond Shaft.
Wow.
I mean, just wrecked it. I wrecked it.
Is that on video someplace?
Yeah, it's on video. I'll send it to you.
Okay,
you know.
please do.
It's an awesome little dance. It was too dark, and I wrote it's too dark, but I learned how to lighten it up.
Did you?
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
It's lighting now.
Okay.
So you know, it's music like that that you hear, and then you see people dancing off the Wind Parade and stuff like that. That's danceable music, but you gotta be into it, or you're not familiar with it. You know.
Right.
And, you know, we know Incognito was danceable.
Right. Yes.
When we go into the other guys, you know, even George Benson has some really good stuff, and I ain't talking about the stuff that's popular.
Right, a lot of stuff that does not get airplay.
Yeah, don't get
yes,
airplay.
Yes.
I mean, Lady Blue, all that stuff is great.
Right.
Dance me, but you gotta know how to dance. You know how to dance.
It'll come.
Yeah, you'll be like, wow.
Yeah, you'll
that's
pick
good
up
stuff.
on the beat and everything. Tell me about the time that you performed on stage with Yancey at Shane Park, now the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater.
At the Aretha Franklin,
Yes.
I danced with him before at Aretha Franklin's Amphitheater. I danced with him before, and he called me. Well, Pam, my partner Pam Moore, she was teaching him how to dance. They're real cool because she's the president of the Detroit Public School Foundation, so he works with her. You know?
Oh, got it. Okay.
And he called her and asked us to dance, and of course I said, send me the music, because I know Yancey's music is, you know, I mean, great stuff.
Yes.
You know, great stuff. Yancey, my man.
Right.
And I remember dancing.
Great musician.
Oh, great
beautiful
musician.
person.
Yeah, great person. And I got some great pictures with him and stuff. But he let me hear a few records, and I think I picked the oddest record out of all.
You probably did with your ear. Yes, you probably did. Yes.
And I bet he was even saying, "Okay, that one there is that's some different,
right.
You know, that's some different stuff."
Yes.
And I told Pam, I said, "That's the one right there." And I remember saying, I knew what I was going to do. I knew I was going to chop to it.
Okay.
And when he played it, man, I mean, just awesome. My ear just took that music, and I was the music. Right then.
Yes.
Yeah, and the first time we were dancing, I remember dancing with Pam, and I rolled her off, and he grabbed her, put that sax on the side, did a little ballroom with her, spit her back to me. That was the first time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think it was the second time.
Oh, okay.
The first time, I think the first time was at the Will Downing concert.
Oh,
he
got it.
was opened up for Will Downing. Second time he opened up for, was it a little piano girl from California? Patrice Rushen.
Oh, Patrice Rushen. Okay.
He opened up for her the second time. So that was the one I think I seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's the video that I saw with that one.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, on my post, you know, you're the rhythm of the music, if that makes sense to anybody.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, there's so many dancers you can watch. You know, I'll sit and watch maybe like a ballroom competition on like 56, and of course, you know, the steps are very complicated, but almost kind of get lost in the music.
Yeah, more
Just
the music.
watching
Yeah.
their bodies so fluid
Yeah.
and everything. I mean, is that something that's taught, or is that something that's already kind of ingrained in you?
Well, yeah. Well, let me just say this: they're paid, a lot of money to dance 7
Yes,
days a
they
week,
are.
8 hours a day.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
we're not paid for this. This is something that you almost. I ain't gonna say most people are born with it and don't know it. Has to be touched.
Yes.
But I think just like you didn't know you was gonna be a concert promoter. It just
No, didn't.
started,
Had no
but,
clue.
But in your head, but once it started marinating the right way, the same thing with music. The same thing with the dancing. I was a ballroom dancer as a youngster. Stopped to be the other dancer, and
Okay.
then came back to ballroom dancing. So
Okay.
nobody was teaching back then.
Okay.
So I was the first teacher. I was the guy who really jumped out there and started teaching it.
Wow.
Okay. Now other people followed, but then you had a few people. You had a couple of guys who taught me, and I don't consider that teaching no more. I thought that was just showing. Showing and teaching two different things.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I was breaking down the elements, like
Yes.
like a musician breaks down the elements.
Exactly. Yes. Every note.
Yeah,
And everything.
and
Yes.
why you sharpen it or why you don't or why you make this, and that's the way I teach dance, just like that.
Wow. Okay.
And it's something different to it. It's not just teaching. A lot of people are out there so-called teaching.
Yes.
Only few can really teach.
Yes.
Only few.
Right.
you know.
Yes.
So you have when I first started it, I didn't know either. I just had to go play it by ear. And when I started hearing the music, I had been hearing the music differently. It was a matter of getting everything down packed so I can dance to this music as different as I wanted to.
Right.
But some people won't even dance to it. I'm out there making a record, dancing.
Yeah. So how was your patience with someone with two left feet? Not saying that's me. I don't have two left feet, but like I said, I've ballroom before, but I never followed up with it. I know people go to classes 2 to 3 days a week and things like that. So how was your patience level?
Well, let me say this. It depends on what you come there for.
Okay.
So I'm the serious teacher. So I'm not there for you to have fun. I'm there to teach you how to dance.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes in teaching, some of us get, genius is right a line from being crazy.
Yeah.
So I might be a different person when I'm teaching you, but I'm
Yes.
learning how to understand that people are just trying to have fun. They don't go as deep in the rabbit hole as we go.
Right.
With
Okay.
music, they hear the music.
Right,
we
but they
kinda
don't hear.
yeah,
Right,
we-
they don't
we
hear it and
understand the music.
understand it. Yes.
I was talking with some friends of mine, Albert Duncan, Kevin Webb, and my two friends I grew up with,
Yes.
like from kindergarten.
Wow,
And-
okay.
Right, and we, they're professional jazz artists, and I'm
Right.
a dancer. And I was crying to him on the phone, and it was serious tears in my eyes.
Wow.
Not understanding why I'm not a jazz artist. And he said, Kev. He stopped me right in my track before I got all crazy.
Right.
He said, Kev. He said, you are what you are. He said, man, your dancing is outstanding. Nobody like you. We're looking at it. We can see it. And we can hear you. We can see you playing the girl like an instrument. We can see where the knowledge of your dance come from and how much better you are. Now, everybody don't think that because everybody don't know what they're looking at.
Exactly.
You know what you're looking
exactly.
at. It's like seeing a bass player and you seeing Marcus Miller and you seeing some bum bass player. And you saying he's just as good as him.
Exactly, or better.
And he ain't. But that's because you know what you're looking at.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody else will think the guy getting down, and he might be doing something for them.
Right. So, if you were a jazz musician, what would have been your instrument of choice?
A bass.
Bass. Oh.
Now bass.
Okay.
But-
Now,
but
why?
Me,
Why
I'm
bass?
jumping everywhere, but the bass. It's because I find myself. I can tell when I'm dancing. I find myself riding the bass line a lot.
Okay.
Now I ride a saxophone. I ride a drum beat sometime.
Okay.
But I
But
find
it's that
myself
bass.
following that bass line now. And it's funny because again I'm mentioning all these names because these are friends that do things
Yes.
for me. Kevin Kennedy bought me a bass. And then
Wow,
for
really?
Christmas, bought me a bass because everybody knew I wanted to play bass.
Oh,
And then here comes little Yara, one of my dancers,
uh-huh.
gave me another bass for Christmas. I got to send up 2 basses in my bedroom.
Kevin, get out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
You know.
see, okay.
But they see what other people don't see. And remember, that little crowd that I have, you know, you got people with 1,000 people in their class.
Yes.
You got about 30 in mine, and they come in different times.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But them the artist dancers, them the ones that want to go deep in the rabbit hole.
Right.
They ain't the ones that just want to go out and have fun dancing. Of course, everybody want to have fun, show off a little bit, look good.
Right, yeah.
But these dancers here, you can tell a Kevin Collins dancer because they dancing.
Really? Okay.
They're dancing.
Because I know we've had conversations before about the quote unquote hate.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's encountered in every single industry. You know, me
Yeah.
becoming a booking agent.
Yeah.
It was like daggers everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm
They
like,
throw one of them. As soon as your back
I'm
turns.
like, why?
I got 2.
I'm like, why why is this happening? You know, it's
because-
enough
it's because
for
they see
all of
something.
us.
They see something that you probably don't see, and it's where you're going. You might not even see it, but they can see it because they see it in you. And same thing in the dance, and they know, they may never give me the prop. They know.
But
I know
but
they
my
know.
thing is, there's enough to go around, spread the wealth.
That ain't human nature. Human nature is I'm jealous of you. I'm envious of you because you got something that I ain't got. Even when you don't even know you have it, you got something I ain't got.
Wow.
Yeah, they also cling on to you.
Okay.
They also surround you. Yeah, and sometimes you don't know they're the enemy until something happens. But the Lord let them get greedy on them little tiny things.
Okay.
So when you blow up, you know they're not the ones.
Right.
It's the same thing. I'm telling you, it happens in everything we do. It's life. It's life.
Yeah, that's true. But I tend to, I laugh at it and just keep going.
Yeah, you got to.
And everything.
You got to.
But kind of with things opening back up, do you see yourself back on that stage at the Aretha?
Absolutely. The first person who asked me, I'm trying to get back up there. And even with my little slight limp, it's still, I look flying in any big city pimp. I was trying to rhyme, y'all.
Yeah, stick to dancing. Stick to dancing. Stick to dancing.
I'm rolling with a slight limp.
Yeah, but it's all good though. But that comes from your dancing and for years.
Yeah. Well, being in different aspects of dancing, some habits rub off, good or bad. I don't think they're bad because I think a person that brags or talk about what they do real heavy is just indebted to it and passionate about it. Other people take it as bragging and stuff like that. Well, if you don't brag about you, who's going to brag about you? People are like, well, let other people talk about you. I don't
They're
believe
not.
that. I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about how good I am because I can back it up.
Yeah,
And the other people, well, let other people talk about you. That'll do it too. But remember, when they don't talk about you, who gonna talk about you?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's 2 sides to everything. And I feel like this: if I ain't gonna pat myself on the back, who's gonna pat me on the back?
Exactly.
You might do it, but you ain't around everywhere. Everywhere I go, I gotta.
Right.
You might not know who I am. You gonna know by the time I leave.
Like, who was that dude over there?
Who's the guy with the big mouth over there? Talking that stuff.
That keep talking.
Then they see me dance. They be like, oh.
Yeah.
We said that together.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, this is friendship for so many years. I'm not gonna disclose it. But
we can read each other's minds.
That's so bad. But taking a quick break, you are watching WJZZ Cool TV. I'm Jazz Katz with my friend Kevin Collins. You can catch us streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope. Like, share, and comment. I want some feedback. I know this is kind of new again for me, so I need some feedback. So back to Kevin, bass player.
Boom, boom.
What are you gonna do? Get those basses and hook them up and get to playing.
I'm trying. But time, a lot of time, the dance also comes first for me.
Right.
The studying of dance and what I feel. But the music is always there. The music is always going to be there. The jazzier music will always be there. I don't know if we'll ever get a huge crowd of people. I mean, yeah, Shane Park. You know, when Marcus Miller come or Stanley Clark or somebody comes, yeah, they're gonna pack in.
Yes.
But think about it. If there's how many people did that place seat? 12,000. Is it 12,000?
Or Shane Park?
Yeah.
Or the Aretha? No, it's not. It's only like 3.
Okay.
I think
3,000 people. So you think about 3,000 people. Just think another 3,000 may like it in a city of 1 million people.
Less.
Think
Give or
about
take
that.
a few, yeah.
It's a percentage,
Right.
And so we you know you talking about people that can't go, people out of town, people can't come. So you got 3,000 people packing in, and sometimes it's not that.
Right. Depends
on who
on
the artist is.
Yes.
So we're talking about there's only a percentage of jazz lovers out here. Now think about jazz lovers that dance. That's a percentage of that percentage.
Correct, right.
Which is very low.
Very small.
So we're talking 100% of people out of 3,000. We're talking about it might be 7 dancers in a crowd.
Yeah, serious dancers.
Serious dancers. You know, people can dance, but serious dancers that can get out, that can take that jazz music, go up on that stage and blow people away. You know,
and make it look effortless.
That's right. It's not many that can do that. And so, you know, and then you got the old cats who come down there. They chilling down at Aretha Franklin.
Walking around.
And they walking around. I remember doing that first dance. The old guy sitting in the front. And he heard the crowd screaming. And for some reason, screaming and said my name. I know everybody. And this old cat, he looked up. I'm dancing on stage. He looked up, smoking a cigarette. He looked up. He's like, yeah, man. And I smiled because he understood what I was doing. Right then.
Yeah.
Everybody else just knew me. They were like, Kevin gets down.
Yeah.
This guy, he looked up.
So he knew.
Ooh, he knew.
He knew what was
he was
going
like,
on.
And then when I came down, he was like, young man, I don't know where you got that from.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. And even Yancey, I remember Yancey standing out on the rocks after I was going to leave because I had to go do my class. I was at My Ties at the time.
Okay.
And doing a class. And I told him I had to go. He standing on the rocks, you know. Yancey artsy anyway. But that's where his greatness come from. He's got that artsiness.
Absolutely.
And he looked around. He said, "Kevin, only you could have did that. Only you could have danced."
Wow.
And you know,
that's a huge compliment.
Yeah. It is huge.
Coming from a musician and their ear.
Yeah.
Is very different.
They can see me dancing to that difference that they're making. But how many? You know, the troubling part is how many people understand that. How many Dawns is it out there? How many Kevins is it out there?
Right.
You know, there are some, but we can't seem to round them up the way we should. Because if we could, we'd probably already be successful.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
So
yeah. I mean, it's out there. You know, I mean that the art, the creatives.
Yeah.
You know, people tend to look at that group, myself included, you know, kind of one off.
Yeah.
Like you're not, you know, you're not all the way there.
Yeah. I joined the WJZZ group the other day, and they welcomed me in with open arms because I seen something on there. They was talking about some music, and I put down Maynard Ferguson, and the guy started talking to me.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
And then he said he told me about the JZZ Detroit music listener, something like that. But it's a group.
Okay.
And that's what I put the thing on, so if they're watching, they're watching because of that.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that.
And they welcome me in, friends and people I didn't know.
Yeah.
And them are the kind of people I'm trying to touch now.
Yes.
Now I'm not trying to exclude the rest of society, but there's this secret society. You know, this is the secret society of people who listen to great music and understand the stuff that we're talking about right now.
Yes.
And they can identify with it, you know. And you want them people because them the people that are sitting down and they can't find us either. And so they end up
isolated.
They end up in the house somewhere. We get old, we die.
Right.
That's what happens. You get old, you stop moving around. You stay in the house now, instead of getting out in the sun, listening to some jazz at the park and doing that. I mean, and Detroit is good for doing it. And if we're probably one of the best at doing it.
Right. Yeah.
but it's still not many people. How do we touch base with these people? And not only for dancing. I'm talking about the music itself.
Right.
The dancing comes with that. I'm talking about the music itself. How do we touch people when you give them concerts or when you give your sets? And it's at the place. What's the place on 8 Mile? Baker Keyboard. It's at Baker Keyboard. But it should be in a bigger venue.
Bigger venue.
Because we have enough people that are buying tickets and listening to it.
Right. Yes, we do.
You know, and even the ones with the jealous bone, they still got to pay because they want to be a part of the in crowd.
Right. They want to see what's going on.
How do we make this a part? Well, how do we make us the in crowd? Because we're not the in crowd.
No.
We're the secret society.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we're
but not the in crowd.
In crowd. The in crowd is the bull.
Right.
It's the BS. So and that's BS to me. Now, I don't mean everybody else. You might love it. You might enjoy it.
Right.
Me, I don't want to hear R. Kelly. I'm sorry. I want to hear Jan Ackman. I want to hear Randy Crawford. I want to hear the Crusaders.
Which is a voice I haven't heard in a long time.
I want to hear
Randy
the Crusaders.
Crawford. Yes.
You know, I want to hear. I want to hear Chaka Khan.
Yeah.
She got some good stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Gaylan played drums with her before. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph played with her as well.
I want to hear the old Roy Ayers music. Got some good stuff. People ain't up on that stuff.
I know.
One thing I say about the Chicago Steppers, they will play some of that stuff.
Oh, do
because,
they?
Yeah,
okay.
that stepping has that groove to it. I'm not a stepper, but I can appreciate good music.
Right.
You don't stop me from appreciating good music.
Okay.
And if I'm around them, I'm dancing. You know, because I can dance. I don't have to be a stepper to be in a stepper set.
Right.
You know,
so now, for those of us who aren't dancers, what is the difference between ballroom dancing and stepping? Are they that different?
Yes.
Is the music that different from both?
The music is not that different. There is something they call stepping music. And
Okay.
You know, but
Yes.
But you know, when people are uneducated on music
I
and
think
dancing,
you sent me some stepping music.
yeah,
2 years
something
ago.
that you basically you can ballroom, bop, Latin hustle, chop, step to anything that they play if you know how to dance. A lot of people don't. They dancing, but they don't know how to dance. See, you got guys in Chicago who could dance off almost anything. That's the mastermind dancers. You know, they ever came over onto my side and learned my dance, they'd be great at it because they're just good dancers.
Okay.
Then you got those who do that, and that's what they do.
Right.
That's what they do. You know, like I do ballroom, bop, Latin hustle, and chop, and do a little bit of salsa.
Okay.
But I'm not, I don't claim to be great at salsa. I can do it because I can dance.
Oh, I see.
I didn't
Okay.
study it like I did ballroom, bop, Latin hustle, and chop.
Okay.
You know, and chop is when guys like Yancey play.
Oh,
And I start,
okay, so that's
and
chop.
I'm dragging
okay.
her around the floor.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
chop.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, some people call it Greystone Socialing.
Got it.
But
Okay.
what they did back in the days of the Greystone, you know.
Greystone Manor, is that what it was?
No, Greystone Ballroom.
Okay, Greystone.
Yeah,
Okay.
Greystone Ballroom. It was that you know where that McDonald's is on Woodward going towards downtown.
Yes.
That was the Greystone. That they tore that the Greystone down and put that stuff there. You know, so that the historics of Detroit. You know, if you study it, we dressed almost better than anybody. We were known for hair. You want to sell something? Come to Detroit. We're buyers. It's a buyer's market. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So studying your history, studying the black history, you know, Black Bottom and Paradise Valley, it's where all the big time jazz artists came to. You know.
Yes, I've heard. Yes.
You know. So read up on that history. It's a good history, and I think another reason I dance so well is because I study history. I study the history of Detroit. Why we dress better than everybody? Why we were this? Why we were that?
Right.
You know. Why Prince loved being here? You know.
Oh, you know that was my
Minneapolis
that was my boy.
but he loved being in Detroit.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So so you know people give Detroit a bad name, but man, they missing it. They missing the groove.
Oh, they are.
They missing the groove. I always wonder why people moved because you know some people just can't handle it.
Well,
you know,
yeah, I mean, I
each his own.
Right, I mean, I did move, you know, from Detroit about 21 years ago.
Yeah, well, you're back.
But I'm always here. You know, I'm there, you know, because there's just it's a vibe.
Yeah.
You know, to the city, and
It's a
I mean, I've
groove.
traveled. Not saying that I'm a huge traveler, but
Yeah.
I've been to other cities.
Yeah,
You know,
me too.
Chicago, and Tampa. Going to Miami in October for
Yeah.
my nephew Marcus and Brittany's wedding.
I think it's all about what you want to, though.
Yeah, that's
what you're
true.
looking for.
Right.
I look for dance groove. I look for
Mm-hmm.
the musical groove, and there's no other city like Detroit. I
Right.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I've been all of them now,
Right.
and they groove and they doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they ain't doing it like
No,
Detroit.
I mean, because when I go places, first thing for me, I look for jazz clubs.
That's right. That's right.
And, so when I went to North Carolina and I'm looking,
Mm-hmm.
my nephew and his family relocated there. And,
Fayetteville, my place over there.
oh, is
That's where
it?
my
Because
boy-
they're outside of Raleigh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And, so when before I left, I'm looking up, I'm like, okay, let's, see where some jazz clubs are, some live music. I found nothing.
Right.
I found nothing. I think there was maybe one spot that was in, I think, downtown Durham.
Yeah.
But they were closed, because of
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
And everything. And so he asked me would I consider moving. And I'm like, babe, I said, I got to have some live music.
Yeah.
And, of course, with COVID, it kind of shut some things down.
Yeah.
But when things kind of started opening back up, I had to get back out there.
Yeah.
To hear some music, see, what I've been missing.
Yeah.
And
Detroit-
with this COVID, I mean, there's so much great music that's coming
my
out.
God. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
I want to be able to push the agenda of that kind of jazzier music. The WJZZ thing. I talked with Rosetta Hines online back when she was at Las Vegas coming home, and I told her we need you back here. We need you to come back and play. We need you to come back and be a part of this. And just like the city is rebirth and regrowing, so should our jazz heritage.
Exactly.
And you're a big part of that doing what you're doing. And you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people who just gonna try to stop you. Don't let
No,
them
it's
stop
no
you.
stopping.
Because
they're not going to stop me. I mean,
Yeah.
that'll just give me more fuel
Yeah.
to, to get the music out there, because I was asked by Roger, who's over WJZZ, Cool TV and everything, what my focus or my format is for the Jazz Cat show. And my thing is to just showcase the talent that we have.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've got our staples, our Wendell Harrisons, Pharoah Sanders, Ralph Armstrong,
Yeah.
Galen McKinney, Marion Hayden.
Yeah.
We've got those, but the younger ones coming up.
Yeah.
Behind,
I'm surprised you don't know Albert and Daryl Duncan.
I may know their face, but their
Yeah.
names,
Yeah,
but the musicians like Trinino Lowe, he's going to be on my show next week. Trumpeter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just, when I saw him years ago at Burt's, and I'm like, I see this little kid bouncing in the corner waiting for his turn to get up and play.
Right.
And when he got up and played, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
But you know how far in between that is. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell you right there. You see this kid jumping in the corner.
Yeah.
And I remember us going down to the Motown thing on Michigan, and I enjoyed being there, listening to the jazz. And them cats, them young cats.
Yeah.
I bet you 10-1 that most of them been taught by Albert Duncan, Daryl, and Ralph.
some influence.
Yeah,
Oh,
some
absolutely.
because these guys are great.
Major
They're
influences.
major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that's when people ask me, that's what my platform is, to showcase the younger generation.
Yeah.
To let these folks know that no, all these kids aren't out here robbing and carjacking and things like that. A lot of these young musicians have played on some great stages.
Oh, absolutely.
And have opened for some dynamic artists, and they've even, headlined their own shows.
Yeah.
Say at Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe,
Yeah.
Baker's, Cliff Bell's.
Yeah.
And
Cliff Bell's.
these are young kids, young kids in
I
their
got a video
20s.
I got a video dancing at Cliff Bell's about
Wow.
10, 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's kind of, what my platform is, or that's what I want my legacy to be.
Absolutely.
Is, because I'm probably maybe one of the biggest cheerleaders
Yeah.
of a lot of the musicians, and that's because I love the music.
Yeah.
And
But they need people like you.
yeah,
Without people like you, again, it starts to die. Now, people, people can talk about it, and then people can be about it.
right.
You're being about it, and I'm one of your biggest. I'm gonna push that agenda too, because along with that jazz that you're hearing, I'm gonna be showing people how you dance to that again.
Right.
How you groove to that again. I got a nice little young crew of good dancers and older cats, but that's the mixture you want.
Absolutely.
You want that wisdom along with that youth to come in
most
and play,
definitely.
because it keeps it alive that way.
Right. Yeah, because a couple of my nephews, one plays the piano, he's 5, and the other one plays trumpet, and I think he's 11. I think he turned 11 on Valentine's Day, and so his mom had him play Happy Birthday for me back in December.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm like, I didn't even know he played.
Right.
And, said, well, how long has he been playing? She's like, about 5 years. I'm like, and I didn't know about it. And my 5-year-old nephew, I think he's been playing piano maybe a couple of years now. And, so that's, I want to make sure that they learn the history, and get to come to, places like Baker's to hear.
You would think that, you have little child prodigies like that running around. You would think that jazz and music, that kind of music, would be bigger.
I know.
Stronger. You would think, but that's what I'm telling you. It's a percentage that's very low.
And because of terrestrial radio, especially here in Detroit, WJZZ was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it was like worldwide, and
people talk about that everywhere they go.
Yeah. And then years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting and sitting across from Stanley Clark at the jam session after the Detroit Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
And so, he and I are just talking, seeing, people like that in person is like, try not to be starstruck.
Yeah.
But it's like, wow, they're, cool people, So he and I were talking, and, he asked about WJZZ, and I'm like,
yep.
I said it's not here anymore.
Yeah.
And, then he asked if Baker's was open. I said, yes, it's open. He was like, really? He said, I remember playing there.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, the list of people that have played, at Baker's.
Yeah.
And, but that history cannot, it cannot die.
Yeah. It's just funny because I remember playing Stanley Clark in my first car. I had the 8-track, sticking in the 8-track, and here come Rocks, Pebbles, and Sand, that 1980s album.
You were telling me about that song.
Story of a Man and a Woman. And I still want to ask Stanley about that. What was he thinking? That was masterful. Masterful music.
Right.
And again, I dance off that stuff. I'll take it. People don't understand it, but it's for me to enjoy. So I'm enjoying dancing to it. But man, I play that stuff and in the car singing it and playing it. We got internet these days, so you can internet it. But when you hear it, and then my friend Kevin Will played was it School Days? It was one of the records, and it almost sounded like the story of a man and a woman. That ending that came up again. I was like,
wow,
that's the same. It's the same great ending, different record. Same great ending with this big, sound like a symphony at
big
the end,
finish,
And then another person I really like dancing to that nobody's even up on, and I dream of doing dancing to, Chuck Mangione. Chuck Mangione, he had a record called The 11th Commandment. A drum piece at the ending that was just out cold, and then we had he was a friend of mine off the Chase the Clouds Away album, Chase the Clouds Away. It was just so much good. It's just so much good music out there.
And I think artists, like Chuck Mangione, they may have like one song that gets the airplay.
Feels so good.
It'll get the airplay, but then we sleep on the entire record.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I love about the internet, because you may put something up there, or YouTube, and
I almost send it right to you.
And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And then because I was looking in my cabinet before I came, and I'm looking, I'm like, I've got all of these CDs. I'm like, what am I gonna do with all of this music?
It's not even, you might have bought it for that,
I
See,
think
you
I
got
may have
them,
bought it for like one or two
yeah,
songs
but
or
them
something.
B-sides, like Friends and Strangers album by Ronnie Laws. You know, you got Friends and Strangers, Saturday Evening, but it's one of they called Good Time Ride. And I remember giving a party. We was in like the 10th, 11th grade. Good party. My boys getting drunk on the basement, and I'm playing Good Time Ride. And they like, Kevin, what the are you playing? What are you playing? And they don't see they wasn't there.
Right.
I'm in 11th grade. I'm already there.
Wow.
I'm
They were
already
off.
thinking Michael Frank. You know.
Hit the red light on me. But no, we're good.
Oh, dang. We could talk all day. We could talk all day. You know.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. Yeah, but you signed the guest book.
Okay, they signed the guest book. But yeah, we could talk all day about this stuff, girl. Real. What's today's date?
29.
No, 29. 4/29.
Yeah, come on.
21.
Excuse me.
What is this company and address?
Just put your.
Oh, I'll put my email address.
Yeah.
WJZZ. What we do? Six to what?
Just 6 to 7.
There you go.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep, it's always good to talk. I'm gonna do internet talk show about the history of ballroom dancing and music in Detroit. So I might have to have you on.
Let's do it. Yeah, but it's, like I said, that's my legacy.
Yeah.
To just make sure that it's appreciated.
Absolutely.
Because growing up as a kid, because we didn't always have FM radio. AM, so I was like in the rock and roll, and things like that.
I listen to WDRQ all the time, the white people.
And, it was like Peter Frampton and the Stones and, and it's
but then
all
you
of
had
that.
JZZ.
But then as maybe like 9 or 10 years old, in the car with my dad, it's like, I'm like, oh, God, Dad, can we turn the DRQ? This music is boring. And he would ignore me.
Right,
and like,
right.
And then I find myself like, whatever song was on. And, and I just, when I started growing up, I just started listening to it. And our histories are so important. Yeah. And if we don't spread it, it dies with us. The minute that we die, our history gone, unless you give it to somebody to keep it going. That's why I try to spread it to younger people. And they're not always listening, but you got them few that will. And them the ones you take. Yeah.
You take the ones with you that want to go.
Right.
Because they don't want to go, there's no use in.
Water.
No, I'm good, baby. I had to go and put these red bottoms on my the groom shoes.
Oh, okay.
So I put them on mine. Mine look good. Because
now where's the other wedding?
In Dearborn over on Chase and Tireman, which is Hubble and Tireman.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful place.
Is it nice?
I didn't know it was there. I was like, I can give a party here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, elegance.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the best.
Okay.
And see, like doing what you do. If you can get at, and I said, remember we talk about dinner dance, dinner dances with jazz, and dinner and dancing, and whoever wants to pay the ticket to come, they come in, we do our thing, get our artists paid, and just build up. You just build up that money until you can get you a Stanley Clark and see now that you know him and you have a personal relationship with him, you probably can get even a better deal, Yeah. So you just have to kind of